A man who described as a sannyasi, the only sannyasi perhaps who walked the red carpet at the Cannes, an author himself and a spiritual guru, the head of Mata Amritanandamayi Mud, Sri Amritaswarupananda Puri is joining us on this episode of The Next Guest from the 973 show.
Namaskaram.
Namaskaram. The Irresistible Attraction of Divinity. You've written a book named thus, in which you have elaborated on love. And you've quoted your guru as to how ultimately God is the lover for devotee. Let's begin on that note. What prompted you to write that book? Was there anything specific, which any specific point which led you to that title? I know you've written several books, all of which have its own color and flavor, but this one looked attractive to me.
Basically, I met Amma in 1979, and since then until now, I have been going through countless spiritual experiences.
Okay.
So there is no one specific experience that I can point out that resulted in writing the book.
The book, yeah.
It's a collection of my experiences, some of them, not all of them.
Okay.
Some experience that I thought would benefit the readers.
The larger readers,
the
yeah.
readers.
Okay.
Also, I wanted to make it very, personal, as well as, people should also be able to relate.
Yeah.
Because, the common belief is that spirituality is something abstract, something subjective, something impractical, or something that one should pursue in the last days of their life, or when they get very old.
For the elderly,
very
yeah,
old.
Yeah.
So my intention was to let people know, the readers know, that this is not something alien. Spirituality is not something alien, it is part of life, and it's inseparable. And knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or unconsciously, every one of us is spiritual. Because without spirituality, what is spirituality? Spirituality is the love, compassion, forbearance, patience, the perseverance, the understanding. So it's what we practice in our everyday life. I mean, wherever you are, irrespective or regardless of your place or time, or which area you work, this becomes part and parcel of your existence in this world.
Right.
So that was, so I thought, it should have a personal touch, but it should also benefit, the readers, so that they can relate this with their day-to-day life.
There's a lot of literature in that book. Perhaps that's what attracted me to it. And you have been quoting Mata Amritanandamayi on most about the colors and the palettes and the artist. So, and as you rightly said, that love is an emotion which binds everyone. And you repeatedly mentioned about spirituality. The thin line that divides between religion and spirituality is getting grayer every day. My next question to you is, or I would like to hear your thoughts on spirituality, which is, it's my personal opinion, it's a fashion these days. It's taken by a storm as a trend, Though you just now said it's meant for elderly, but there are a lot of people taking into it as a style of living, lifestyle, like meditation, yoga, and especially India is home to all this. And a lot of spiritual gurus are coming up. How do you look at the trend being outpacing the actual feel and the depth of this notion called spirituality?
We live in a quick fix world. People are more after result.
Yes.
Result-oriented society, and things are like upside down or reversed. So I think most of the spiritual teachers, they are trying to help people, reaching out to them where they exist. They don't understand spirituality as part and parcel of their existence, the very existence or very core of their existence. They understand spirituality, meditation and yoga as something that would benefit, their health, or maybe even, accumulating wealth, or to create some degree of emotional balance. So, it's helpful. It's helpful. Even though they don't understand the real substance of it. I mean, the fundamental principles of spirituality. But it still benefits people, and it has become, as you correctly pointed out, it has become a fashion in today's world. But there is a limit.
Yes.
There is a limit to where such practices or such a perspective can take you. So beyond that limit, because you still live a self-centered life, you are still running after, the pleasures of life. And, you still want attention, you want name, you want power, you are greedy. So it doesn't create a qualitative change in you. So as long as it doesn't create a qualitative change in your life, it helps, but it's going to have its own limitations.
It will remain a quick fix, perhaps.
Yeah, it remains as a quick solution. Solution. I'm not saying that it will help, take care of your health.
In the long term.
In the long term. And you will also have greater understanding. You may gain a certain degree of inner strength to face the challenges of life. So all those benefits are there, but that's not the real purpose. That's not the real purpose of life. You should, ultimately you should know that you are not separate from, what you call the other.
Okay.
The other is the world, the other is, whatever outside of you. Whatever you consider outside of you is not yours. Only you. Nothing else belongs to you. You're not bothered about others. You're not bothered about the world. You don't worry if there is a war going on or if there's poverty. So ultimately you should realize that there is this oneness principle operating in every single living and non-living being in this world.
Right.
So that is the ultimate purpose.
Yeah.
So that will, such people, people who have attained that realization, the highest point of realization, they will be benefactors of the entire world.
Interesting.
And they will go beyond all boundaries. So that's the purpose, for me, that's the purpose. That's what I'm trying. That my entire life is dedicated to fulfill that purpose, to realize that purpose. But, others also will have its own benefits. It won't go waste, whatever they are doing in the name of spirituality or in the name of meditation or in the name of, even yoga is meditation, but they don't consider it as meditation. Yoga can be, used to have an overall health program, like for your overall health. It can be used as a technique, but yoga can also be meditation.
Right.
Yeah.
I've heard you referring to yourself as the only sannyasi who has walked the red carpet at the Cannes. It was very interesting to listen to that, and would be happy to hear from you your first interaction with Mata Amritaswarupananda, to which the mud you head now, and you are her prime disciple. Can you tell us, where did you meet her and what was that life-changing moment?
I met Amma in 1979 after my bachelor's degree. I mean, after the exams, I was an economics student. So I wanted to become an actor because, throughout my college and school days, I was very fascinated with acting and singing. So
and I think you were a success in that. You were a reigning best actor,
college,
isn't it?
Yeah, I used to be, and I used to be the best singer in my college. So, that's the dream that I always pursued, and that's what I wanted to become. So, then I was invited to a professional drama troupe where I wanted to join soon after my final exams. But at the same time, I have this anxiety about future, mainly because my father was not very happy with me joining the professional drama troupe. So, and also I have, just like a young man, I had my anxieties about future. In addition to that, because I spent a lot of time for pursuing my art, which was my desire and dream. I wasn't sure about getting a pass in my exams. I thought I would fail, because I did not perform well. I knew that. So all these things, created a lot of conflict and questions and anxiety. So I wanted to, meet Amma. Because there were a group of people who used to visit Amma's ashram in those days, and they, persuaded me to accompany them, to join them. So just out of curiosity and out of desperateness, I went. But then once I was there, once I met Amma, my first encounter with her, my whole world changed. There was an inner transformation, like a 180-degree turn within. I was not worried about the exams or its results. I was not worried about my future. I just wanted to be there. That was the first time ever I experienced love and compassion in all its fullness.
Okay.
So the only example I can tell you is, suppose you gather the motherhood of all the mothers in the entire world and put it in one place. That was the experience I had in Amma's presence. So that transformed my life, and since then I never looked back.
Okay. Could you tell us, what was your feeling when you walked the red carpet?
Had I been in the world, pursuing my dreams, that would have been a very special occasion for me.
Okay.
Maybe memorable occasion, which I would have cherished throughout my life.
Definitely.
But here I was just an emissary of Amma. Because that movie Darshan, The Embrace.
The Embrace, yeah.
That was showcased in the Cannes Film Festival. And they actually invited Amma, and Amma, politely, refused. So I had to represent her. So I was only a representative, even though I participated, in the showcasing of the movie, and also in all the parties with people from the film industry, Hollywood, Bollywood. But I was kind of detached. I was there and I interacted with everyone. I enjoyed, but at the same time I was away. I was just a witness.
Okay. You could step outside and watch the
whole thing like in a movie, So I participated. I was very sincere. I participated because I had to be like that.
Yeah.
Because I was entrusted with a specific mission. So it's like a postman who delivers a letter.
But you delivered it with perfection, with all the commitment
of course,
to
I
it.
had
right?
to. I had to.
Will you be able to share one? I know there are several moments in your life which you cherish, or some moment which you really, really hold close to your heart with your association with Mother Amritaswarupananda.
Oh, there are countless, numerous. So it's very difficult to pinpoint one specific experience. This, I after my bachelor's degree, Amma insisted that I should take a master's degree also. This was after joining the ashram. So I did not want to. I did not want to pursue my studies. I just wanted to renounce everything and become a monk. And I already left my home and hearth. So I was like a mendicant traveling. Because of those days there was no ashram. It was just Amma's parental home. And a small temple. But Amma, even today, Amma wants everyone to complete their studies. Because Amma feels that at some point of time, the spiritual life is not easy as you think. It's dealing with your mind, trying to control your mind, your emotions. Because the natural tendency of the mind is to go after
stray.
After pleasures, physical comforts. So it's not easy. So Amma says, in case at some point you realize that this is not my path, then you still be able to go out into the world and work or find a job. So I don't want anyone to discontinue their studies in the name of spirituality.
Interesting.
So Amma, even today she does that. She tells that to everyone. And she, the ashram takes care of all throughout, their studies. The ashram takes care of the expense. Ashram means Amma takes care of the expense. Finally I had to,
do your master's.
Agree. And then I studied at Venkateshwara University.
Okay.
And it was very difficult to be away from Amma at that time. I would say that that's the time, it has always been like that, even today it is like that, but that was a time when I felt how intense love can be. Like in the Bhagavata, about the gopis and Krishna, the bond, the excruciating pain of their separation from Krishna, when Krishna left for Mathura. So that kind of intense love, the excruciating pain of separation, I also experienced the motherly love of Amma. How she took care of each and everything when I left for
studies.
For the studies and for the exams. I did not have to do anything. I just had to focus on my studies. And she packed everything for me. Everything. From oil to a comb to my books, my clothes. So everything was ready because I was searching for a bag. We did not, those days, we did not have anything. We just survived with maybe a couple of sets of clothes. We always lived in huts. And there was also scarcity of food. So I was trying to find a bag to pack my things. And then I heard Amma calling, and everything was ready for my travel. From oil to soap, to detergent, all the books, the clothes, pen, paper, everything was packed and ready.
I can see that's a very close moment to your heart that you reflected with that feeling in your eyes.
So it's not like a biological mother. It's also, Amma shows the same love, the same compassion, the same affection and care to everyone, not just me. But for me, that was something that deeply touched. And also the moment I met Amma, that moment, when I first experienced the intensity of love, the expansiveness of love, the depth of love, and what God would be like.
Okay.
Because we hear God is love, God is everything, God is omniscient, all-knowing. But at that particular moment, I saw God.
Okay.
I felt God. And I was able to internalize God. Until that moment, it was all just abstract.
Okay.
Not tangible at all, just in stories, books.
Thank you for leading me to my next point, which is education and health. Because I see the Mother Amritaswarupananda, the organization or the entity, has been prioritizing education and health. You have the hospital and you have the university, and I'm sure it must have stemmed from Mother Amritaswarupananda's concern, or which you now explained about how important education is. Could you take us through the vision of these two pillars?
Whatever humanitarian and institutional activities Amma has implemented or taken up, they're all closely associated to her heart. In the sense, Amma has had a very, very hard childhood and born and brought up in the coastal village of Kerala. They were very traditional people, and she had to go through a lot of trials and tribulations. And I must say, Amma, in her childhood days, that is when Amma was 8 or 9 years old, she used to visit 50 to 60 houses every day to collect this tapioca peels and leftover rice gruel for the cattle at her home. So during such visits, Amma used to see the poverty, lack of food, lack of clothing, lack of shelter, lack of medical care. And some people had enough to eat, whereas some others did not have anything to eat. And then the parents, how the parents were not cared by their own children. Amma says when the children were young, they used to pray for the long life of their parents. And when the parents get older, the same children who now are grown up, they say, somehow this fellow is a burden. So Amma says lovelessness, lack of compassion, lack of understanding, and then the medical care, and then the entire coastal belt was full of huts, and it was not secure, safe for little girls or women. Even during monsoon, they used to sit inside their houses holding an umbrella. Because the roof was leaking, there was no proper door. So any miscreants could, crash in at any time. So Amma, and Amma, recalls one particular incident. I mean several incidents. Like Amma says, in those days, this stents, heart stents or valves. Only Sri Chitra Medical College used to make it. And even for that, you have to register, and there is a long waiting. And maybe sometimes, when your turn, by the time your turn comes, the patient must have passed away. So I always wondered that how to make this modern medical care for everyone. And also it was Amma's dream to have no huts in the coastal area. So health and education are very, very close to her heart. Very close to her heart. So that's why we in our hospitals, we give huge, amounts of money treatment, either free of cost or subsidized or a concessional rate. So that's where Amma is very, very, very particular about that. And education, likewise, building homes. It's an ongoing project. So far, we built 50,000 houses across the country. And even just during tsunami, after tsunami relief and rehabilitation, we built 6,500 houses, including Kerala, Tamil Nadu, the Andaman Nicobar Islands, Andhra Pradesh, Pondicherry, and then 300 houses in Sri Lanka.
Okay. Out of curiosity, I wanted to ask you, how accessible is this super senior management of the Mother Amritaswarupananda board when it comes to subsidized treatment or education? I know there are lots of schemes that you have, free of charge medication and care, but what is the procedure? If anyone comes...
No, mostly people, because Amma is so available, so accessible, because she sits hours on and receiving people. So sometimes 7 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours. So that's the ideal opportunity for people in need of medical care.
So they can just go and meet her, is what you say.
Sometimes they will tell directly to Amma, or sometimes they hand over a letter. And of course, we have our own screening process, because there are also
definitely.
People who want to, exploit the situation. So just to get the help to deserving people, we have a screening process in place.
Right. Yeah. That was a nice conversation, but we cannot conclude this talk without a reference to the place that we are in. I know this is not the first time you've been to Bahrain, many times, and the last time I met you was at the Interfaith Dialogue. So Bahrain, the beautiful land, is known for its religious coexistence, and it's all embracing nature. I'm sure you must have experienced it, isn't it?
Yes, of course. I have been coming here for the last maybe 20 years or so. The people are so nice, friendly. I mean, in today's world where there's so much of division, so much of polarization in society, it is so inspiring to see a community, a country that welcomes everyone, accepts everyone. So it always has been a lovely experience.
Right. So this visit, this time you're here just for
it's only for the devotee community.
Yes. Right. Yes. Okay. Any message to your devotees in Bahrain?
Amma, let me share a message that Amma usually tells everyone. That love and compassion is the beginning and end of life. So, this is what Amma says. It's, it doesn't mean that you have to try to imbibe all these qualities in your life. There is love, there is compassion, there is patience, there is perseverance. Just one. Sharing. Be fair. So in the modern, scenario, use the word be fair. Be just. If you follow one quality, just one quality, the others will follow. So, because humanity is in a very, very dangerous situation. So many fatal challenges are, staring at us. So we have only two ways. One is embrace the path of sharing, love and compassion. It's same. All three are same. Or self-destruction. So whether you want, natural demise will happen anyways, but that may take millions of years. But man-made demise, which one you choose? It's our decision. So align yourself with the nature.
Thank you very much for touching upon that point, perhaps which we did not discuss. The world needs to unite towards a sustainable goal. Yes.
So that oneness principle, it is high time to understand nature, to live with nature. Because we are governed by nature, even though we don't think about it.
Yes.
And nature is much, much smarter and intelligent than we human beings. So
thank you very much for joining us. That was a very enlightening conversation. Yes, let us align with the nature. On that note, we are leaving this conversation with Sri Amritaswarupananda Puri, the head disciple of Mother Amardandamayi, on this episode of The Next Guest from the 973 show. So wait for the next exciting, interesting and engaging guest.